while the world burns around her. What does a queen whisper? Does she issue orders to her armies? Or does she take refuge in the voice of her heart when she has lost everything? For exactly 230 years, one of history's most striking stories of forbidden love remained imprisoned beneath loops of black ink. To whom was the French Queen Marie Antoinette writing letters from her cell? And more importantly, who scribbled over those lines with such fear? And why? Today, modern science makes that cry, which history could not silence, heard once again. X-rays penetrate beneath those black loops, and revealing not the confession of a queen, but the poignant admission of a woman in love.
I love you madly, and I cannot pass a single moment without adoring you.
This is Unstamped Letters, and today we are opening the sealed heart of Marie Antoinette. It all began with a game. On a snowy January night in 1774, at the Paris Opera Ball, 18-year-old Marie Antoinette, taking refuge in the mystery behind her mask, spoke with a young Swedish nobleman. Count Axel von Fersen did not know who he was falling in love with that night. Yet, that conversation would become the Queen's only true point of escape in her life. Fersen was not merely a courtier. He was a soldier seasoned in the line of fire, having fought alongside George Washington at Yorktown. When the fire of revolution engulfed Versailles and everyone else fled, he was the only one who did not let go of the Queen's hand. On a June night in 1791, Fersen played the greatest gamble of his life to save the Queen. He tried to hide the royal family in a carriage and escape to the border. But the Queen chose opulence over speed. A massive, yellow-wheeled, cumbersome Berlin carriage. The escape came to an end in the town of Varennes, at the edge of a bridge, with a tragic delay. Captivity had begun. The Tuileries Palace was no longer a palace. It was a prison. In this cage, where her every move was watched, Marie Antoinette had to work miracles to communicate with Fersen. Ciphers, invisible inks, and messages written in lemon juice tucked between brochures. The first lines, written with hands trembling between fear and hope, was set to paper on the 28th of June.
I am alive. Oh, you cannot know how much I have worried for you, or how grieved I am to think of what you must have suffered from not hearing from us. May heaven grant that this letter reaches you. Do not write to me. That would put us all in danger. It is known that it was you who got us out of here. If you appear, everything is ruined. We are under surveillance day and night. I do not care. Do not worry about me. Nothing will happen to me. Farewell, most loved of men. Take care of yourself for me.
But the distance was unbearable. Only a day later, the Queen whispered that most dangerous confession onto the paper.
I can tell you that I love you. I have only time for that. I am well. Do not worry about me. I wish I could hear the same from you. Write to me in cipher, for I cannot live without you. Farewell, most loved and most loving of men. I embrace you with all my heart.
For centuries, it was believed that a relative of the Queen was behind the black scribbles in these letters. But when scientists delved into the atomic structure of the ink, the truth was shocking. The person who did the scribbling was Axel von Fersen himself. Fersen could not bring himself to burn the letters, but to protect the woman he loved, He erased dangerous words like, "I love you madly," with his own hands. In that letter, dated January 4th, 1792, which emerged from beneath the censorship, the Queen cried out,
"It cannot be without you. My dear and gentle friend, I cannot finish my letter without telling you this. I love you madly, and I cannot pass a single moment without adoring you."
Fersen's response was a vow.
I live and exist only to love you. To adore you is my only consolation.
October 16th, 1793. Marie Antoinette was forcibly stripped of the black mourning clothes in her cell. She faced the executioner in a plain, stark white chemise, forced upon her to humiliate her. Her hair was shorn, but her dignity remained unbroken until the very last moment. When Fersen received the news, his world collapsed. He wrote in his diary,
I have lost everything. The person for whom I would have given my life 1,000 times is no more. That she was all alone in her last moments, with no one to find consolation in, is horrific. Monsters from hell. No, my heart will never find peace without taking revenge. For me, everything is over.
Look at the bitterest twist of fate. Fersen too was killed exactly 17 years after his queen, on the anniversary of the day she was brought back from Varennes, lynched by an angry mob in Sweden. Both perished in the savage light of revolution. Today, we saw that Marie Antoinette was not just a queen, but a lover and a warrior. The secrets beneath that black ink show us how the human soul clings to love, even in the darkest moments. Why do you think Count Fersen didn't burn the letters? Was keeping evidence that could lead to his death an act of loyalty or an obsession? Can black ink cover a true love forever? History writes the victors. Unstamped Letters writes those who feel. Let's meet in the comments. Until we meet in another sealed room of history in the next letter. Goodbye.